Hello, future SAGE students and families. My name is Areeba Bilal. I am in my third year of kinesiology at the University of Saskatchewan, and I took both SAGE and IB. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience through those, what I learned, what stood out, and the progression to IB from SAGE. So the coolest thing that stands out to me from SAGE is probably the inclusion of topics that were a bit out of scope from the regular SaskEd curriculum. They, of course, still fit into curricular requirements, but with topics such as the meaning of time and urban design, and just generally creative explorations into everything that we were studying, I've just never met anyone from all the friends that I know from coast to coast who have also taken gifted programs, who've also been in IB. I've never met anyone who had the opportunity to learn about things in the same way that we did. And I think SAGE does a really good job of that. And then the skill sets that students develop, such as independence, thinking outside of the box, and learning how to do well in interdisciplinary environments is so valuable. And SAGE learning also included a lot of different perspectives. So when I speak to friends now, they often feel that they weren't represented in their classrooms as well as they would have liked. And I just never felt that. I always felt like we were learning about different cultures, about different ideas. So it really was a more global education in that sense. And because of all these reasons, Sage 2 IB was a pretty natural progression once you've developed or at least worked on those skills of independent learning and creative problem solving. You're better off in IB. So of course you'll need to independently learn. So you'll need to study for tests on your own and things like that in IB. So that's where you'll need that discipline. And then you'll also still be applying that knowledge in creative ways in IB, such as through the essays that you have to write in every class. So again, developed from Sage, that will really help you out. And looking back now, I also see a lot of ways that Sage and IB helped me kind of forge my own path and figure out what I was going to do in post-secondary. So coming in from elementary school, I had no idea because I am totally that student who loves every subject. I couldn't narrow it down. I've still barely narrowed it down, so I don't know what I'm doing. But through Sage, like we were able to explore subjects in such great depth that I was then able to think about what I truly liked within all of that. And then in IB, when you have to do the extended essay specifically, and you have to write on a topic of your choice, I did have to sit and think of what I was willing to write about for such a long time and in such a long essay. And that was health disparities and social determinants of health for me, which in pretty much is what I'm still interested in. So yeah, I think it was pretty beneficial. And the other major skill I learned is just working effectively with people and how to be a good team leader. Um, Through all the group projects that we were doing, I was able to build that skill there, and then also in extracurriculars that I was involved in high school, and that really helps me now. So my advice to incoming students would be to first apply for the program. I wouldn't recommend to you anything that I wouldn't recommend to my own brother, and he's in it, so there's that. And second would just be that you're going to get out of it as much as you put in. Sage and IB are both chances to rise to the challenge. And if you're the type of person who is hesitant because you don't know how it's going to be different from the learning that you're used to or how your marks are going to change, at the very least, think of it as an opportunity that you should at least try. I'm glad I did, and I wouldn't recommend anything less to everyone else.